بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. We continue our study of Islamic lifestyle. We were talking about family. We talked about parents. We talked about general situation of the family. And now, inshallah, we want to talk about children, what you should observe with respect to your children. As you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala introduces children as some of His great blessings for us, something that can reminds us of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because every blessing should act as a sign and remind us of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أَمَدَّكُمْ بِأَنْعَامٍ وَبَنِينَ. Many things help us, but in particular, we should be mindful here about our children. Also, the Quran says we are responsible for ourselves and for our children. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا. Surah Tahrim, verse 6. You must protect yourself, you must protect your family, including your children. Salam alaikum.
Is it only for father, Sheikh, or
both father and mother. Then Ayatollah Jawadi Amuli mentions few things that we can understand from the hadith as rights of children. And for example, to choose a good name for your child. And this has to be something which is Islamically is good, something which in that society is good. Yeah? In the sense that maybe, for example, there is a name that for some reason in another society, for example, if you live among non-Shia who are hostile, then maybe some Shia names can be creating trouble for this person in future. So you have to consider many things. So something that this child would be comfortable with in future, would be respected, and something that can inspire, that this is what I want to also become. Either name of a personality or a quality. For example, name can be name of one of the members of Ahlul Bayt, for example, or prophets, that you want to become like them, or a quality. For example, when you say Sadiq, this a quality that also you can, aspire to. Interestingly, one of the rights of child is to give respect to the mother of the child. And of course, mother also to give respect to the father of the child. So not only you owe respect to each other, but for the sake of your children, you should be even more respectful to each other. Because if husband and wife fight each other, so these are two independent people fighting each other. But for child means half of his world is fighting the other half of his world. So the child is totally damaged in this way. The health and cleanness of the child is very important. Physical health, spiritual health, mental health, and also the same with cleanliness. Proper nutrition and feeding, teaching and training, not just teaching theoretical things, but also training, giving good adab, good etiquettes, good manners, good skills. Honoring your child. we will talk about it. You should honor your child so that the way he thinks of himself is as an honorable person. If you keep attacking and criticizing and offending and humiliating your child, this child little by little would develop lots of complex and problems, and plus would have no value for himself. And someone who has no regard for himself, you can expect to be doing everything. Man hanat alayhi nafsuh fala ta'man sharrah. If someone has no regard for himself, don't feel safe. This can do anything. Also, to help your child for doing good things. So he must know that for doing good things, he has a helper and supporter and doesn't feel alone. There are hadiths here from Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that confirm some of these things, mentioned some from other hadiths. Because I want to finish the discussion about children tonight, so I mentioned only some of the hadiths. For example, from the hadith of the Prophet, the idea of name, yastahsan ismah, to find a good name for the child. Yu'allimahu kitab Allah, to teach him the Quran or her. Wa yutahhirahu, especially aim at making the child clean and pure. Teaching some skills and some ways of self-defense. For example, we will talk about like swimming. It's very important so that one day if he's on the sea, he would not drown. Imam Zainul Abidin says, وَأَمَّا حَقُّ وَلَدِكَ فَأَنْ تَعْلَمَ أَنَّهُ مِنْكَ وَمُضَافٌ إِلَيْكَ. You must know that your child is from you, is not a stranger, is not another person. And if your child is doing bad to you, you cannot boycott your child. Is one part of you doing bad to another part? You have to be patient. You have to be just showing patience, not letting the child do everything, but be patient. Don't disconnect. وَمُضَافٌ إِلَيْكَ فِي عَاجِلِ الدُّنْيَا بِخَيْرِهِ وَشَرِّهِ. Your child is always affiliated to you. Whether he does good or bad, in dunya, in akhirah, every good or bad of the child is somehow counted on you. Although, maybe from a moral perspective and legal perspective, we are not going to be responsible for their free choices all the time. But whether you like it or not, he would be always counted by people on you, and even by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, although he's not counted on you for everything, but you have to have an answer for everything that your child does to show that you had done your job properly. Yeah? So if child, despite your efforts, become bad, no problem. But at least you have to show that I have done enough of, tarbiyah. So we start with health. Many aspects are to health. Health is not just physical health. For example, something very important is about, sexual health and upbringing. For example, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said that husband and wife should not have, marital relation in the same room that children are there. Or, for example, when the wife is in her period, there must be no marital relation because it can have impact on the child. Or in the middle of the month and beginning of month, lunar month, it can have bad impact on the child. Or talking when they have relation can have bad impact on the child. Another thing is about washing and cleaning of the children. Children should be clean, and if they are not clean, they attract shaitan and they dispel angels or annoy angels. So even our physical cleanliness has something to do with our mental and spiritual condition. You know, you yourself feel that, for example, when you are very clean and you have clean dress and you pray, you feel very good about it. So it's not just body. For boys, it is recommended to have circumcision on the 7th day. For example, hadith says, اختنوا أولادكم يوم السابع. On the 7th day, have the circumcision for your boys. Another thing that Ayatollah Jawadi Amoli discusses here is about observing certain things that can help them. Like when they are born, to recite adhan in the right ear of the child and iqama in the left. This is helpful. Rasulullah said, Ya Ali, إِذَا وُلِدَ لَكَ غُلَامٌ أَوْ جَارِيَةٌ. Whether you are given a son or a daughter, فَأَذِّنْ فِي أُذُنِهِ الْيُمْنَى. Say adhan in the right ear, وَأَقِمْ فِي الْيُسْرَى. And do iqama in the left. فَإِنَّهُ لَا يَضُرُّهُ الشَّيْطَانُ أَبَدًا. If you do this, shaitan, inshallah, will not harm him. Unless he invites shaitan himself, that's another issue. But now these are not guaranteed, means, but it means that they bring some level of immunity and protection. But you can always do other things to give them chance to enter. Also, when husband and wife have marital relation that they want to have child, for example, Rasulullah said to Imam Ali, say, Bismillah, Allahumma jannibna shaitan wa jannib shaitana ma razaqtani. Please keep shaitan away from us and away from the child that you are going to give us. About nutrition, we have to be very careful about the food that we give to child, especially in the early stage of childhood. When there's infant, you have to be very careful. Not only you observe the ingredients and what type of food suits, but also to make sure that it is halal. It's 100% something that belongs to you and no one else has any right over it. It's not that your partner, for example, in business has a right over it. It's your boss and manager has part, or it's subject to homes you didn't pay. It should be 100% halal. There is a beautiful hadith for reminding us about mothers and bishara for mothers. That how much a mother has honor and reward. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إذا حملت المرأة كانت بمنزلة الصائم القائم المجاهد بنفسه وماله في سبيل الله. When a woman becomes pregnant, of course, if it is possible, if a woman becomes pregnant, she is like a person who is fasting. So imagine 9 months fasting. Al-Qa'im, and also is doing Salatul Layl. Al-Mujahid bi-nafsihi wa mal, and is doing jihad with nafs, means life and mal. So a woman who is pregnant, and of course there are lots of pain, lots of uncomfortable moments, but Allah is not ignoring that. Allah is not underestimating that. فَإِذَا وَضَعَتْ, when she delivers the child, كان لها من الأجر ما لا يدري أحد ما هو لعظمه. When she delivers the child, no one knows how great is her reward, because the reward is so great that no one can know how much reward is given to this mother. And then فَإِذَا أَرْضَعَتْ, then after delivery, when she fosters the child, كَانَ لَهَا بِكُلِّ مَسَّةٍ كَعِدْلِ إتق محرر من ولد إسماعيل. Every time that the baby, you say sucks? Yeah, from the breast of mother, is the reward of releasing one slave from progeny of Ismail. Suppose one progeny of Ismail is enslaved, and you free. This is the reward. فَإِذَا فَرَقَتْ مِنْ رَضَاعِهِ ضَرَبَ مَلَكٌ عَلَى جَنْبِهَا وَقَالَ اسْتَأْنِفِ الْعَمَلَ فَقَدْ غُفِرَ لَكَ. When she completes fostering, one angel, putting hand, hitting on the jam side, that you are forgiven, and from now start fresh. Means your hasanat are there, but sayyi'at all are forgiven. It's a new
clean slate.
Killing. So those women who have ability to have child, they shouldn't say, okay, if I have child, I'm going to lose, financially, or what about my work, this and this, Of course, I'm not saying you have to have too many children, but consider also this aspect, that this is a great act of worship, a great jihad, lots of barakah for you, lots of barakah for our community, but you can consider, of course, other factors. But don't just because, you are going to lose financially, or it's not convenient, or, other things. Then there is discussion about ta'aleem wa tarbiyah for children. They have to be offered proper education and training, religious training, secular training, manners and etiquettes, adab. Yeah, we have to teach our children. For example, when we go to somewhere as guests, what should we do? When we have guests, what should we do? When we visit an ill person, what should we do? When we go to masjid, what should we do? Yeah, not that, we just leave them free and, say, okay, go on, at this time, we are going to leave, go just play around. You have to teach them these etiquettes and manners so that they will do in every condition the best. Also, we have to give them some skills for their livelihood, but also some skills for self-defense. Our children must be the most confident and the strongest in every place that we live. About teaching Quran and religion, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that when a child is taught Quran, the parents are given two hulla, two dresses of honor, يُضِيءُ مِن نُورِهِمَا وُجُوهُ أَهْلِ الْجَنَّةِ. From the light of these dresses, the faces of people of Jannah will be illuminated. They themselves have light, but this light of teaching Quran to your children is something that they also will feel it, and benefit from it. There is this hadith that maybe you have heard, because some people have also made some kind of nasheed about it. Rasulullah says, إِنَّ الْقُرْآنَ يَأْتِي يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ بِالرَّجُلِ الشَّاحِبِ. On the day of judgment, Quran brings a man whose face is pale. He says to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Rabbi, هَذَا أَذْمَأْتُ نَهَارَهُ وَأَسْهَرْتُ لَيْلَهُ. Oh Allah, this is the Quran is bearing witness. This is the one that I made him thirsty during the days. Means by recitation of the Quran, he was becoming thirsty. And in the night, I shortened his sleep. He was awake reciting me. So anyway, Quran is interceding for this person, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to honor this person, and is going also to honor people who have taught this person, or basically the children, the Quran. It's a beautiful hadith. And if we don't teach our children Islam, if we don't teach them aqaid or akhlaq or ahkam, we are responsible. There's a hadith here. Rasulullah looked at some children. إِنَّهُ نَظَرَ إِلَى بَعْضِ الْأَطْفَالِ. He looked at some children. فَقَالَ وَيْلٌ لَأَوْلَادِ آخِرِ الزَّمَانِ مِنْ آبَائِهِمْ. Rasul said, woe to the children of the end of time with respect to their parents. Means their parents are not going to do justice. فَقِيلَ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ مِنْ آبَائِهِمُ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. Are their parents mushrik, and you are worried about what these children are going to be receiving from their parents? Said, La, min abaihimul mu'minin. Their parents are mu'min, but these children in Akhirul Zaman are going to have problem. What's the problem? La yu'allimunahum shay'an min al-fara'id. They don't teach them their wajibat. They don't teach them their religion. When it comes to secular education, they want to put them in the best school. They are happy to, stretch their finance to put them in the best school. But when it comes to religion, inshallah, they will learn from air. How can they learn from air? Why they cannot learn physics and chemistry from air? When it comes to religion, we leave it to chances. وَإِذَا تَعَلَّمُوا أَوْلَادُهُمْ مَنَعُوهُمْ. And even if sometimes, sometimes at some stage, children have interest. They want to learn. And says, no, this person is learning too much. He's becoming, mullah, or, this, we have to stop him, it's worrying. Too much interest in religion is worrying. So they stopped them. وَرَضُوا عَنْهُمْ بَعَرَضٍ يَسِيرًا مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. And they are pleased with them if they have little achievement in dunya. My child is, getting this much money, or has this job, or this car. فَأَنَا مِنْهُمْ بَرِيءٌ وَهُمْ مِنِّي بُرَاءٌ. I have nothing to do with them, they have nothing to do with me. Such mu'mineen who are not careful about religious education of their children. Then Ayatollah Jawadi Amali has a section about teaching them defense skills and also social skills. Something that in society they can be successful. Good akhlaq, how to deal with people, how to speak, how to ask questions, how to make complaint. Anything has a manner. You have to learn. For example, أكرموا أولادكم وأحسنوا أدبهم يغفر لكم. Rasulullah said, honor your children and make their adab, their etiquettes proper, They should have politeness, courtesy. Then you will be forgiven. You should be showing love to your children. Hadith says, أكثروا من قبلة أولادكم. Increase your kissing of your children. Of course, this has time also element, because this is said when people used to not kiss their children. So if you are already kissing too much, don't make it too much after this lecture. There is a balance in everything. And some people don't just kiss, they just want to take away the cheek. Sometimes painful. No. Basically the idea is that you should show your love, and part of it is with kissing. And if you kiss, the hadith says, فَإِنَّ لَكُمْ بِكُلِّ قُبْلَةٍ دَرَجَةً فِي الْجَنَّةِ. For everything you take a rank, a degree in heaven. Narrator says, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he says, كُنْتُ عِنْدَ النَّبِي. I was with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. إِذْ دَخَلَ الْحُسَيْنُ بْنُ عَلِي. When Imam Hussein alayhi salam arrived. فَأَخَذَهُ النَّبِي. Rasulullah took him, وَقَبَّلَهُ, and kissed him. وَوَضَعَ فَمَهُ عَلَى فَمِهِ, and put his mouth on the mouth of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. وَقَالَ اللهم إني أحبه فأحبه ومن يحبه. Oh Allah, I love him. You also love Hussein, and whoever loves Hussein. So he was not shy, feeling shy, to show his love for his grandchildren. And actually it seems that he was very particular in showing this love, because he was aware that what treatment they are going to receive. So he was making it even extra clear that how much he loves them. There is a hadith that كان رسول الله يقبل الحسن والحسين. One day when Rasulullah was kissing Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein, a person whose name was Uyayna or Aqra' ibn Habis, one of these two, he said to Rasulullah, I have 10 children and I have not kissed them. Imagine, 10 children and he has never kissed them. It seems that they thought this is a kind of weakness, that a man kisses his child. You should not show any, because love is a kind of like weakness. Rasulullah said, Man la yarham, la yurham. If you don't show mercy to anyone, you don't show mercy. So in this case, if you don't show affection and love to your children, then you will be denied love and mercy. In another version says that Rasulullah was upset with this, and his color changed. And he said, إِن كَانَ اللَّهُ قَدْ نَزَعَ الرَّحْمَةَ مِنْ قَلْبِكَ فَمَا أَصْنَعُ بِكَ. If Allah has taken away rahmah from you, you have no rahmah in your heart, no mercy in your heart, what can I do? مَنْ لَمْ يَرْحَمْ صَغِيرَنَا وَلَمْ يُعَزِّزْ كَبِيرَنَا فَلَيْسَ مِنَّا. The one who doesn't have mercy for our children. If you have a child in the community that parents or uncles or aunts or cousins or members of the community, because this is our child. A child in the community is child of the community. Yeah? So Rasulullah says, if you don't have mercy for our children, or if you don't honor our elderly people, you are not from us. So in Muslim community, we have to have respect, great respect for everyone, but especially for the elderly members, and love for the children. The child feels at home when he goes in any community gathering. Alhamdulillah, to some extent this is there, alhamdulillah, but inshallah we have to safeguard and promote. Honoring your children. If child feels that I am an honorable person, I am a noble person, I am a gentleman, or a girl thinks like this, that I am an honorable person, then automatically many bad things even don't come to their mind, let alone they do it. Akramu awladakum. Honor your children. Man karumat alayhi nafsu. In another hadith, this man karumat alayhi nafsu is from Qurarul Hikam. Whoever has self-regard, hanat alayhi shahawatu. Then to resist against your lower desires would be easy. Again, Ayatollah Jawadi Amoli talks about giving good name, which we already talked, and especially, for example, if you give the name of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for example, or in some hadith, Ahmad, how that house will be blessed. Another thing is, one of the rights of the child over parent, especially over father, is to help them with marriage. So you should help your child to marry. Another thing that is very important is you should not treat your children in the way that they end up with aqq walidain. If I am harsh with my child, then my child may not be respectful to me. He is going to lose. But I am also responsible. If I expect too much, for example, from them, or I make it difficult for them, I demand too much. So don't just say, okay, they have to respect me, they have to obey me, and otherwise, they will be aqq walidain. No. You must also be very lenient and very careful. Don't make it difficult. Rahimallahu man a'ana waladahu or wuldahu ala birrih. Rasulullah says, may Allah have mercy upon those who help their children to be kind to them. If I have bad akhlaq, I swear at them, shout at them, then how can? Okay, let me do it again. Is it okay?
Just waiting for it to load up again. The connection is a problem, Sheikh, it seems.
Okay, so just I continue, then we put. So Rasulullah said, Rahimallahu man a'ana waladahu ala birrih. May Allah's mercy be upon the one who helps children to be kind to. قلت وكيف يعينه على بره? How can he help him? قال يقبل ميسوره ويتجاوز عن معسوره. Whatever is manageable for the child, accept. Whatever is very difficult for the child to do, don't expect from the child. Excuse him. So if you keep asking and demanding, the child may not have that much of a strength or patience or that much of adab, may say something bad to you. You will be annoyed, but the child also is going to be suffering because of annoying you. Sometimes people also curse their children. This is bad, because when you curse your child, that child will suffer. Then again, you will suffer because your child is suffering. Never curse your children, even if you are angry. Observing equality and equal treatment between children is very important. Rasulullah said, "Savvu bayna awladikum fil atiyah." When you want to give something, to give some gift, observe justice and equality. Rasulullah said one person who had two children with him, he kissed one of them and didn't kiss the other. Rasulullah said, why you didn't treat them equally? Why you just kissed one child? And also when you go and buy, gifts for the children, so you should observe also just treatment. But the first to give is your daughter. And in another hadith, Rasulullah said, if I was going to give preference, I would give preference to girls. And at the end, we have dua of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam for children. And as we had for the parents. I only mentioned some of the elements in this dua. One is, Allahumma wa munna alayya bi baqa'i wuldi. Oh Allah, oblige me with letting my children carry on in their life, prolonging their life. I don't want to lose my children. Wa bi islahihim li. But please make them in a good form and shape in every aspect. وَبِإِمْتَاعِي بِهِمْ, and let me enjoy them in every aspect. Bring joy to me, help me, support me. Again, Imam says, Allahumma mdud li fi a'marihim wa zid li fi ajalihim. Please prolong their life, add to their ajal. وَرَبِّ لِي صَغِيرَهُمْ, those of them which are very young, please you undertake their upbringing. وَقَبِّ لِي ضَعِيفَهُمْ, those who are weak, make them strong. وَأَصِحَّ لِي أَبْدَانَهُمْ, make their body healthy. وَأَدْيَانَهُمْ, and their religion sound. وَأَخْلَاقَهُمْ, and their traits of character good. وَعَافِهِمْ فِي أَنفُسِهِمْ وَفِي جَوَارِحِهِمْ, and give them afiyah in their body, in their life, and whatever that I am concerned with. And send me lots of ni'mah, and through me also lots of ni'mah to my children. It's very good if you are able also to support your children. And inshallah, you will never, I hope, no parent needs the support of children, because that is not very natural, unfortunately. When children support, it's easy that after some time, they may think they are doing a lot. When parents support, they do it with joy. So I hope no father or mother ever needs the support of children. But they must feel honored if they can support their parents. وَاجْعَلْهُمْ أَبْرَارًا أَتْقِيَاءَ بُصَرَاءَ سَامِعِينَ مُطِيعِينَ لَكَ وَلِأَوْلِيَائِكَ. Oh Allah, make them pious, make them very good, make them people with basira, with insight, make them obedient to you and to your awliya. Muhibbin, people who have love. Munasihin, people who wish good for each other and others. But وَلَجَمِيعَ أَعْدَائِكَ مُعَانِدِينَ وَمُبْغِضِينَ, but also make them have no attraction towards your enemies and no love for them. So, very beautiful dua, and then Imam reaches this point, وَأَإِنِّي عَلَىٰ تَرْبِيَتِهِمْ وَتَأْدِيبِهِمْ وَبِرِّهِمْ. Please help me. Even Imam asked Allah for help for tarbiyah. Tarbiyah is not easy. Yeah? Upbringing a child physically is very challenging. But tarbiyah maybe is 10 times more. It's very difficult. And we need Allah's help in every step. وَأَعِذْنِي وَذُرِّيَّتِي مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ. In addition to asking your help, I want also protection from shaitan. Because I don't want to build and shaitan comes and ruins. So we need help from Allah by assisting us in our tarbiyah and also by giving refuge and shelter from shaitan. Okay, I think I stop here. And inshallah, in the next session, we will talk about a spouse, what we should observe about a spouse. We hope that inshallah, our community would be able to implement from every aspect the beautiful teachings of Islam, especially when they come to practicalities of life. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.